Okay, so let's go back. Oh, you guys deleted my defect. I created defect yesterday, right? Now it's gone. Okay, so yeah, this is a valid defect. Okay. Um, See, we are not. So there has to be a requirement, right? Saying that actually, there is no requirement for this. Technically, there is no requirement for this. Why? Because business analysts don't bother about this. But if you found such kind of issues, that's good. That's really good because if you can find out and fix it, because see, the moment you open such kind of issues, right? Let's say you talked about this lead. What does developer says? These kind of issues, they come up with saying that no, it's in the production, so it's no, it's we don't have to worry about it. Okay, they will say such kind of answers, but you are a tester. You are hired to make sure there is a defect, right? So now this is a defect. This is the defect, and unless you guys have some mutual understanding in your lead, with your developer, with your business analyst, and all those guys, right? You don't want to close those defects. Okay, unless everyone agrees, that's fine. But otherwise, I would really not agree to this. That no, this is in production. Some random guy, some developer said that no, this is already in production. You don't have to worry about it. I really don't, you know, um, I really don't take that advice because yeah, it might be a defect in the production, right? There are a lot of defects in the production issue, right? Do you know that actually, even if you take Google, right, there are a lot of issues. So, um, yeah, that's it. So, it's not necessary that just because developer is saying no, it's in production, we don't care about it. No, that should not be really your way because you are not supposed to listen to developer. You have to listen to your manager, right? You have to take orders from manager, not from developers. Developer will say a lot of things. Okay, you have to because see, developer always test. There's the business point of view. They see all the codes but tester test as a user point of view, right? So that's the reason. Okay, you don't want to listen everything what the developer is saying. You need to check with the lead, explain the problem, and check with the business analyst too, and tell them why is it. Unless and otherwise, you don't want to close such kind of defects. Okay, so okay, so that's good. Only two people have returned. Okay. I hope you guys got some idea on this. So let's see. Let's go to today's class. So so today is not really that interesting. We don't have any softwares today. So not really software class today, but it will be more of a theoretical point of view, HDLC, documents, all those things. Okay. So let's go back here. So we'll talk about this confluence once we go into the Jira. That will be on 7th class. Okay, that's I think it's Tuesday, right? Yeah. So it'll be on Tuesday. Um, and right now we'll check on this one. Okay. So let's talk about these documents. Okay. Once you go into the project, you need to have a lot of you need to work on a lot of documents. Okay. So you in agile they're trying to eliminate these documents, but really that's not really advisable, neither it is really possible completely, because they can eliminate documents at some point, at some level, but you cannot eliminate everything. So either way you need to know all this. Okay, you need to understand this so that even if it's agile, waterfall methodology, helical methodology, or any other part of PLC, you can still work on that. So this is called BRD. Um, so BRD is business requirement document. Okay, and just give me a second. Okay, so BRD is business requirement document, and what does it contains? It contains, this is, few things. It contains like 10 to 20% of use cases, a business modeling, risk analysis, and budget information. All this it contains in the BRD. So why don't we just have a look on this BRD? Okay, so just saying is not enough. Let me I show it for you so that you'll have some better understanding how does the document looks like. Right? Just talking about it is not enough. So I'll be giving you access for this Google Drive by today. So you will be also having some idea how the various documents you'll be using. And yes. Okay, so here you have a lot of things. There are a lot of things here. Okay, so we just so this is the drive, and once you go to the drive, you have a lot of. So I kept it numbering so that it will be easy for you to identify. But to start with, I'll go to the testing documents. Pretty quick, and then once you go there, you'll find a lot of documents. And go to business requirements. Okay, so I'll just check, pretty quick here, MasterCard BRD. So this is MasterCard company, and they have the requirement BRD document, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so it has a lot of information showing up in there, right? Okay, so they have limited it. Okay, just give me a second. So, okay, let's download it then. Or maybe they are limited this will not to show because it's 48 MB. Maybe I can can compress the document, and that should have been a better option actually. Okay, so we'll just look into this one. So next we talk about this. FRD is functional requirement document. Okay, so once you go here, so what is functional requirement document? So functional requirement document contains the functionality and features. Okay, it contains all the functionalities and what features on this. So let's see. Can we open this? Okay. Okay, just give me a second. Somebody want. Okay, so you know what? Okay, good. Now this is BRD. Okay, I need to. I think I need to compress this one. It's lot of taking a lot of space. That's why it's not able to open in the browser. Otherwise, it will have open in the browser. Okay, so this is BRD. Okay, so this is contains lot of information. Okay, um, it has over the business wants and what is the project requirements. See, as a tester, what is useful for you is the question actually, right? The question is, as a tester, what I'm going to do with this. So here you want to write your test cases based on this, right? You cannot write a test, you'll see here we had ready-made application. Okay, we had a ready-made application like demo.golang, but it's not necessary that you always get ready-made, and most of the time you don't. So we wrote test cases based on the based on the application, right? Remember, we were writing test cases based on application, but you will not be writing and test cases based on application. Most of the time you'll be writing based on this documents. So that's the reason these documents are there for. Okay, and once you see here, there's a lot of information here. Okay, so you need to read the whole document. Actually, you don't have to like understand each and every perspective here. But the point is, what test cases you need to write based on this document. So that's the thing what you need to understand. So a lot of information because this document is prepared at high level. Uh, you know, high level since everyone has this access. Project manager, scrum master, business analyst, developer, tester, architect. If there is another development team, so everyone have this access, right? So they make everyone keeping in mind. So as a tester, you want to look into it and underline which is important for you to write your test cases or to understand what is the functionality or to understand what you're trying to do. Okay, so that's the reason of this document, right? So this is called BRD, business requirement document. Okay, does it make sense? And let's come to the next one, FRD. So this is FRD. This is a functional requirement document. So BRD is more used as an ETL perspective. Okay, if you have ETL test cases, or if you have something which is ETL perspective, you'll be using BRD. FRD is more for QA point of view. If you are using any functional testing, if it is a web application or it's a client application, you'll be using FRD, right? But it's not always necessary. But um, as a general term. But it again depends on company to company how they are following their own policies, right? So okay, so here's the thing. Here you have okay. Let's see here how see this document. um, you need to interpret this document, right? Because you need to write test cases based on this document. So this document is pretty simple, very easy to understand. Everything is like on this page, so it's very easy, but it's not necessary it has to be that easy every time. Let's see, they're trying to say, what is this? Okay, so there you have this fields. So they're trying to say these are the fields. Okay, first name. Okay, let's compare this to our fields. What they're trying to say. Okay, now we have this this application, right? Now if you want to check here, now I want to compare this. Okay, this is not requirement for this. Just want you to understand, this is healthcare project. This is something like the retail thing. Okay, so don't think that this is a requirement for this. Okay, now this is a different requirement and this is a different application. What I'm trying to say is, you have all the information here. See this information, just like first name, you have this field value. Okay, we have name here. This is last name. Okay, it's two names. Address. Okay, you also have this address. So what they're trying to say in the document is there is a static value called address, and there's a field called this is called field box, right? This is called edit box because you also get. So if it is a text box, you put only text. If it's a number, um, digit box, and if it is like alphanumeric, then you call it edit box. Okay, so these are a lot of options here. So that's what it means by this statement. Okay, prescriber first name maps to reference first name is the static text and field value is this. Okay, this box are the field values, and city, state, zip, and so on. Okay, so that's how you can come. So what you need to do is, once you see this application, you need to put uh, design an application in your mind, saying that okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, this is, you can take a you can take a notes, and you can see how that application can be based on this. Okay, based on once you know the application, you can start writing your test cases. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the test cases here. Okay, you can look, you can check what are the test cases. Okay, any questions? So that's about FRD document. Then you have SRS, that is System Requirement Specification document. Okay, let's see here. So what does it contain? It contains information about system specification, right? So let's see here. So all the documents look like similar. Okay, so we have this index. What is this? So this contains all this information. Okay, what is the what's the use of this document, and what are the features we are including? What are the what you're trying to do in this? What are the functional features you will be including? So all this information. So this is normally contains information about the system application. You see this here example. There's a server, and how many how many system it is accessing, so all those things. Okay, related all to the system applications. Okay, and if it is there any client application, is there only web applications, so on. Okay, so it contains all this information, like what kind of dependencies, you have any dependencies or external dependencies, what are the features you'll be. So all this is system SRS document, right? System requirement specification. Okay, and then you have a PDM. Let's see. PDM is physical data modeling. So let's go here. Okay, so now that's also a document. Okay, you can look to this document. And it contains, so what is the PDM, right? PDM is physical data model, and what does it contain? It contains a physical entity. Okay, what is a physical entity? Table. Table is okay. This is more of ETL perspective, not QA. Okay, normally QA don't have this PDM. Okay, but document is more related to ETL. Okay, so it contains physical entity of a database. What is a physical entity? Table. table is a physical entity, right? So look at this. So this is what it contains. Okay, this is a physical modeling, and to more magnify the use of this, right? You also have ER diagram. You see this? This is called entity relationship diagram, and this is included here as a sample, but it's not necessary. This is the only one, right? Because this will be, why do we require this? So let's say you want to test, ETL, data, right? ETL, you want to test a lot of data here. For that reason, you need to know what is the primary key, what is the foreign key, if you want to know candidate key, okay, and you don't know, is it composite primary key or is it ordinary primary key? So all this information, where do you get? You get from ER diagram, not PDM or LDM. ER diagram is a must if you're trying to get all those information. It doesn't have even in STM. Okay, STM also you may not able to understand it completely, even if it has. Okay, because there is a lot of information there, so you don't even get those. So this shows up clearly. This is entity relationship diagram. Okay, so you need to know which table you're testing, what is the lookout table, and all those things. Okay, so this is included in PDM as a sample. Okay, that's not really an ER. Okay, ER is separate. It will be actually pretty big, and it will be big, and you need to put on your desk, or you need to see whenever you're trying to test. Okay, so that's PDM. Now let's go to next one. There's also something called LDM. So LDM is similar to PDM. LDL, logical data modeling. So LDM is logical data modeling. And what does it contain? It contains logical entity. So what's a logical entity? Views. Views is a logical entity. Okay. So it's similar to PDM, but the only thing is it contains information about views, right? So how you're actually designing the views, and what is the purpose of the views here in this project, and how are you going to use those views? All this information is actually stored in the LDO. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have like HLD. Okay, HLD is like high level design. So here we don't have HLD. So HLD is like it's a high level document which contains information about, let's say, call flows. Okay, so now let's say if you're working on some typical project, right? Let's take a typical project one. There's something called IVR. Okay, it's a project, IVR. IVR is interactive voice response. Okay, so you're testing that. Let's say you're testing that one. Now, I hope everyone knows what's IVR, right? So let's say you are calling to some, let's say, Bank of America, right? There's a Bank of America, and you're calling Bank of America through your cell phone, right? You're dialing that 1-800 number, and you're calling up. Now, when you dial that phone, you dial that number, right? You are actually going to that IVR. So that's called IVR. So there's like web services which is designed seriously based on your answers. So once you input your answers, like what you want, put your PIN number, put your credit card number, put your debit card number, all those things you'll be providing either by phone, or by your numbers, or by talking. So that flows, there are flows, right? When you say something, it goes to the next option. If you don't say something, it goes to the next option. And if you enter something wrong, it goes to another option. Those are, designed, there will be a pictographic representation of those flows. Okay, there's a pictographic representation. It's like flow chart. So all those is designed in a flow chart, and you want to test that, right? You want to test that IVR functionality, saying that okay, when I'm clicking this button, it's going to the next option, but it's not really going to the next option. It is stuck. So that's what is called HLD. It's a high-level design document which contains information about call flows. Normally, the flow chart. So once you have start, you have various options. You have like lot of you'll be using lot of boxes, right? You will be using lot of boxes like rhombus box if your decision making, all those things. So normally it contains the pictographic representation of an of an application. It's called HLD. Okay, next you have so next you have TDD, the technical design document. Okay, so so what is this, right? So let's say you're working on ETL project, okay, and you're working on a jobs. Okay, so once you so there is a like something called jobs. Okay, what you have is like you want to move your data, right? You want to move your data like from source to staging, from staging to target, right? And so once you do that, okay, you cannot do just like no, I write a SQL query, select star. Okay, no, that doesn't work that way because here you are trying to move data from one environment to another environment. Okay, so now you cannot do that by writing SQL queries, and that doesn't work that way. Okay, so that's not even possible. So you want to use some automated system like autosys, autosys or tidal. Okay, so all those things you use those, and so you need to test that too, right? You need to test those things. Is it so there are actually a lot of things there. Once you use this, you have dependency jobs and independent jobs. Which job you need to click on. So all these are documented called TDD. So that's called technical design document. That contains is also similar, not exactly as call flows, but this is like you have. Let's check it out if we have this. If we have this. So normally, again, you have the similar. Okay, so all this will be there, but here, what we'll be looking at more into those which jobs you need to click on, which not. Okay, so this is really not. Um, okay, this document is good, but no, just was looking for an pictographic representation of those jobs. Okay, so let's please check if we have here. It's not really that. So here, if you see, right, once you go here, if you want to kick out another job, it goes to that location. If it's just not, then you have these options. Okay, so you can take it as an example there. Okay, so it could be an example, but really could be. So here you take this. Okay, so once you do this, the next job gets triggered. Okay, so this is like similar to that. Okay, here is good. So here it shows, right? Once you do this, next it gets automatically triggered the job. So all this is documented in TDD. Okay, technical design document. Okay, so let's go to the next topic, STM. So what is STM? STM is source to target mapping document. So let's check. Just we have STM. Okay. So in short, it's also called a mapping document. Okay, good. Now, now what is it? STM. STM is source to target mapping document, right? And what does it contain? It contains information about the source. Okay, not just source. Okay, source is like a very high level thing. Source has a database. It can have files. It can have a lot of things. If you're talking about database, then database has tables, right? It has tables. Now, if you're talking about the tables, then it has its own columns. It has its own rows, right? So that's the level depth it goes in this STM, right? That's the kind of level. It gets more into detail level once you go to the STM. So here you have information about the source, not even the source, but also the target information. I mean, if required, even the staging information also it contains. So let's see here. So you have this BDW target. So what is BDW? BDW is Business Data Warehouse. So there's two things. One is BDW and there's EDW. EDW is Enterprise Data Warehouse and BDW is Business Data Warehouse. Okay, it contains column name. Okay, because this, okay, we know we are working on a database. It contains columns and rows. Then it has column data type. Is it integer? It is a variable character and so on. The BTW target PK. PK is primary key. Okay, so now if you see this here, it's a little complicated. So primary key is supposed to be one for one table, right? This should be supposed to be only one. But if you see here, there are like a lot of primary key. That means it's a composite primary key. Okay, let's not worry about it right now. Now you have, okay, so you have this. Then if you have lookup table, that's called reference table. Okay, so this is information about target. Now it also has information about the source. What is source? It's a different database. Okay, it can be different server, different database. Okay, and it has a field name. What is the data type? Again, similar things. Okay, here you have mapping rules. So this is the business requirement. So what you need to do. So they have the information. Sometimes easy information, copy paste, but here you need to design your own query. Okay, you need to write your own query. Normally, this is supposed to be in staging. Okay, but sometimes they do for the source. Okay, sometimes they're like they do. We need to validate the mapping the source to the target, but normally this is supposed to be done to the staging area. Okay, and then you have remarks and worksheet. Okay, so this is what an STM contains. So what is STM? Source to target mapping document. What does it contain? It contains information about the source thing, source information, and the target information, and it's required staging information too. So, and what does it have? It contains information about database. Okay, what's the table we are looking on? What is the row? Is there any lookup table? What is the primary key? What is the candidate key or natural key, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's what it contains here in STM. Any questions? Okay, so let's move to the next one. I hope you guys are same page, right? Let me know if you don't understand something. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going in detail. It's not just definition, so I can end up saying definition, right? What is STM is source to target mapping. But if you don't know what does it contains, you don't understand what it is. So that's the reason I'm going a little bit in detail so that you understand a little better. So that's my point. Okay, just going into detail and I'm trying to understand what does it contains. But if you know what is contains, you can come up with your own definition, right? You don't have to depend on any, because you know what it contains. Okay, so that's the reason I'm going in detail. Okay, so let's go to the test plan. So what is a test plan? Test plan is a high-level document prepared by the QLE. Okay, and what does it contains exactly? Okay, so what does it contains? So let's quickly check here. I have test one here. Okay. So it contains information about the project, what testing you are doing. Okay, so see here's the thing. So what kind of testings we are doing? Are we doing compatibility testing? Are we doing functional testing? load testing. And then even if you are doing that, what are the criteria that you are following? Are you checking what is the issue, what are the risk we are worrying about, what the items to be tested, what are not to be tested, what is the pass criteria, what is the fail criteria. Okay, so that's the information it contains in the test plan. So who does this? This is the job of a lead. Technically this is lead, but you know what, if you're a senior QA and you need to do this. Okay, and not just you, and I know it's just you need to also involve in the whole meeting, because this test plan document should be done in the based on everyone, right? Because they are testing something, and if they find some really things, they need to update here too. So you as a QA tester, why it's important to you? Because you need to also give input. So whenever QA lead asks, okay, this is why don't we add something else, like test criteria, okay? When we are ending it, what is the end date of this project, and all those things. You need to give your inputs. Okay. So no, it's not my QA lead works on that. So no, you cannot do that, because QA lead, yes, QA lead works on this, but it's part of your responsibility to because you will be looking into it, and you also will be understanding, okay, what we are trying to do here, and what we are doing here. Okay, so that's the plan. So it's actually, so test plan. Test plan is a high level document. Okay, designed by the QA lead, and it contains all the information about the testing perspective, like what are the issues we are working on, test pass criteria, what kind of testing we are doing, functional testing, regression testing, performance testing. Okay, what is the environment, test suspension, so on. That's what it contains in the test plan document. Okay, so let's move to the next one, test strategy document. So test strategy is actually similar to test plan, not same, because here you are actually looking at the strategy of the project. Okay, you're in the test plan. It's more related to planning, how you're planning. Test strategy is more of a strategical point of view. So again, test strategy is a high level document designed by the QA lead. Okay, to make sure um, uh, let's check if we have this strategy. So what are the things that it contains? It contains information which is not there in the test plan. Okay, so this example, like what is the staffing and training needs, what you have in test deliverables, and which you don't have the test plan. Okay, so it contains. So normally in projects, test strategy and test plan are like same to them. Okay, technically they are not same, but they might use the same thing for the project. But if they are saying the same, go with the flow. Don't argue with them that no, this test strategy is different, test plan is different. Okay, they're saying the same, you can go ahead with the flow, but technically there is two different things. Okay, because here test plan is more related to your planning, how you're planning to your project. Test strategy is like what is the strategy you're using in your project to complete your job, right? So that's the difference actually. But otherwise, if they say like we use one document for both, then it's good. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's the strategy. Then test cases. So we know test cases, right? Test cases. What's the test cases? Test cases is a high-level document, prepared by the QA guys, QA analyst. Then what does it contains? It contains information about test case ID. What is the objective? What is the steps to perform? What is the expected result? Pass fail criteria, comments, remarks. Okay, it might contain all of this. Okay, but you have seen your test cases, right? Let's say so this is the same test case actually, what I'm trying to say here. So you can add whatever is there to the rally. Okay, so it's actually the same thing. Just you are defining in terms of just you're defining in terms, but here let's see. Okay, so here if you see here, so this is what it contains, right? You can even say this, okay? What does it contains? It contains objective, okay? It contains, what are the steps to perform, and it contains pass fail, okay? What is the expected result, okay? And what are the preconditions, okay? What are the post conditions? You can say all this what is there here, okay? It contains method, risk, okay? All those things. So that's the test cases. And next oops, we have some time. Let's quickly finish this. So there's something called migration document. Okay, so what is this migration document? So let's say if you're sometimes when you go in the project, there's a like they'll do upgradation of the project, right? So in that case, what happens, right? They will use a lot of databases. Let's say in migration, what happens is they want to migrate from one database to another database. Let's say that database is Teradata, and this other database is Oracle. Now, there's two different things, right? Now, there are two different SQL queries, two different, way of working, and two different things altogether. So you want to you want to document it. How do you doing the migration of the project using different database. Why do you want to do? Because sometimes you want to hire a new guy. If they want to hire a new guy, the new guy doesn't know what kind of project is this, right? Nobody knows. Forget about the new guy. Even what's happening, you don't even know the other guy too. So you want to document this. So that's the reason you need a migration document. Okay. And what is it contains? It contains a migration of the project. Let's say the project is migrating from Teradata to Oracle, or IBM DB2 to Oracle, or Oracle to DB2. Okay. All this information is documented in migration document. Okay. So let's go pretty quick here. Any questions so far in the documents? So these are the documents, okay? These are the documents which you will be referring to. Now let's go to the next one. So, okay, let's go to the SDLC. So what is SDLC? SDLC is Software Development Lifecycle. Now what is this? This is a framework. Okay, so SDLC is framework in the project. So this is not like software. No, you just give me access. Somebody told me, okay, no, I want access to SDLC. Okay, so that doesn't work that way. Okay, now this is not a software. This is the framework. What is framework? That's a method that you follow in your workplace. Okay, it's a method where you need to follow some rules, some policies. So that's called SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Okay, now this SDLC. Okay, so let's see here. Here you see this, a framework that describes the activities performed at each stage of software development project. So it's just a process. It's a process or method that you want to follow. Okay, it's a method by company policy, or someone that they will be following it. Okay, that means once it has development, what you have to do. Once it's testing, what you have to do. Once it goes into, so these are the various phases. We'll be having various phases for this. So let's check it out here various phases. So one of the method is waterfall methodology. Okay, so what happens in this waterfall methodology is like there are like 6 phases. Okay, not really 6 phases. You can go ahead and you can see here there are like 10 phases. So let's see if we have this. So if you want to have so there are like 10 phases here. It starts from initiation and to disposition. So if you are good with this, you can go ahead and read this one. But I'll stick to 6 phases. Okay. I don't want to go in that detail. But if you want to go, okay, you can go ahead. But I'll stick to 6 phases here. What are the 6 phases? Let's say in the requirement phase. So in the requirement phase, this is the job of a business analyst. Business analyst gathers all the information, okay, puts all the documentates, document everything, and see how the working and the project is and all those things. Okay, so this is a really job of a business analyst. Then the design. So when you come to the next phase, that's a design phase. So this is a job of a normally the architect guy. Okay, what they have to do, how they have to. There are a lot of tables, a lot of columns, a lot of rows. How you're going to handle it, what happens if you handle it, so all those things is done in the design phase. Next you have implementation phase. In the implementation phase, this is a job of a developer, right? Developer now does the whole coding work and does all those things. It's done in the implementation phase. Okay, next is a test. So this is what QA. Okay, so this is what QA does, this execution part, and finish that. And next you have installation phase. So this in this phase normally is done by the middleware team. Okay, whoever is responsible, because installation is something you want to move this code from dev environment, not really dev, from test environment to production environment. So that's what you want to do in installation. And what in the maintenance phase? In the maintenance phase, you have, you want to maintain it. Like if there is any bugs in the production, you don't want to get bugs in production, right? So now whose job is this? It's normally for QA leaders, senior QA and developer. Normally developer, but QA need to work. If there are any issues, how soon you can fix the issue in production. I mean, it's not really very good idea to work, fix issues in production, but if you are running out of time, running out of resources, then you need to work on this. So this is a maintenance phase. Okay, 6 phases, 6 different things. Okay, 6 different people are involved in this. Okay, so let me ask you a question here. Okay, let me ask you a question. So as a QA, as a tester, where does my job start from? Okay, can somebody answer it? As a QA point of view, where, in which phase does my job start from? Can anyone answer? Okay, very interesting. Your comments? Okay. Any more people? Okay. So if people who set requirements, maybe they know really good, that's good. So people who said from implementation or test or something else. So my question then will be like, what you will be doing the all these 3 phases, right? You will be hired, from the right beginning, right? Um, okay, you might be hired between two, but when it's the next project, you will be idle for 3 phases, okay, or 2 phases. So what, do you think really the client pays you to being idle if you are not doing anything here in this phase? No, right? I hope everyone answers no, because no, they will not hire you to be in idle. So they will, expect you to start your work right from the day one. That's the requirement phase. Okay, that's the requirement phase. So as a QA, I don't care if it's QA, developer, project manager, business analyst, whoever, their job, everyone's job starts from right from requirements. Let's see how. So here is the thing. When you start your work requirements, so you need to follow up with the business analyst. Okay, you may not, but they will set up a meeting. Okay, okay. They'll be setting up meeting with you with the lead. Checking with them and saying that okay, what's the requirements. So you need to come up with issues or a lot of things that will be there. So let's say they are implementing something which is not available at this point of time. Like let's say they want, okay, they want to implement a new project, saying that okay, we are already blocked. Okay, we already have this QA environment. There's already testing going on. How we are supposed to do this? We don't have any other environment right now. So how are we going to deal this? So all this brainstorming work. So this is called brainstorming. Okay, how are we going to move with this? If there is issue, okay, there's the issue in the documents. All this brainstorming work are done in the requirement phase. If you're talking to the lead, our lead will be talking, all these things will be done in the requirement phase. Okay, as a QA, you'll be working on this too. And the next design phase, what we'll be doing on this design phase, you'll be writing your test plan document. You'll be writing your test cases. You'll be writing your test strategy document. Okay, all this will be doing in the design phase. Okay. What you'll be doing in the implementation phase then. As an implementation phase, you'll be, okay, let's say you have done test plan and test strategy, you didn't have enough time, you'll be working on test cases in implementation phase. Okay, or any other leftover documents that you need to prepare. Okay, you need to prepare some other documents, you'll be doing in this. Okay, and let's go to the next one, test. So what you'll be doing as a QA in the test, you'll be executing your test cases. You've seen here, right? You're executing the test cases. That you'll be doing the testing phase, not in any other phase. By the time the code will be deployed into test environment. Okay, and what you'll be doing in the installation phase, you need to do a lot of coordination. You need to coordinate with the middleware team, coordinate with the developer, coordinate with, okay, because the code is actually moving into production, and you need to be very careful in what's happening, what's breaking up, all those things. That's what you will be doing here in installation. Maintenance, not really as a QA point of view, but it's good. But lead QA leader, is actually will be working on this for the maintenance. Okay, does it make sense? So that's how as a QA we will be starting right from the requirement phase, not any other phase. Okay. So this is about waterfall. So this waterfall is derived from SDLC. So this is actually the SDLC. Why this is named as waterfall, because you see that waterfall, right? It's from top to bottom. You cannot, if you found an issue, you need to again go from scratch, from top to bottom. You cannot, there's no second way, only one way, right? So that's why it's called waterfall. You have to go one flow. But here is the advantage for this waterfall. You know what? It is the waterfall methodology is good when you are working and when you are thinking that quality is more important than cost. Okay, agile is the other way. When cost is more important than quality, use agile. The advantage of waterfall becomes the disadvantage of agile. Okay, so in waterfall, you want to see that when quality is more important than cost, you use waterfall methodology. Okay, so there's also some disadvantages too. That if you found in some issue, you need to go from scratch, and documents have to be very clear. If there's no documents, you cannot work on it. So all those things. Okay, so let's go to the next one pretty quick. Okay, so there is one more called V-shaped model, V-shaped SDLC. So it is a similar, you have the 6 phases. Similar 6 phases is, is put in a different way. They have like paraphrased the whole, system here, but the same thing applies here. Okay, here you are doing project and requirements planning. Simultaneously, you're working on operation. Maybe 2 projects. Maybe that's why they are doing this. Okay, they're doing 2 things simultaneously. And product requirements you're doing, system and testing you're doing, acceptance, high-level design you're doing, integration. So this is called V-shaped SDLC model, because it's you're doing both things at once, and it's showing up as V-shaped. That's why this is called V-shaped SDLC model. Okay, it has its own disadvantages and advantages. So let's move to the next one pretty quick. So there is one thing called rapid application model. You can have a look on this. Um, this is also methodology. It's not exactly methodology, but it's actually part of the methodology. Okay, let's say if you are talking about the agile, right? Agile has so many sub methodologies. Okay, if you are saying like what methodology are you using? Say agile. No, agile is very high level word. Okay, because in agile you have Kanban, you have Scrum. Okay, you have extreme programming and so on. So which one really? That depends. Okay, on the project. So that's how this rapid application model too. Okay, so if you are working in SDLC, so it's a part in SDLC like waterfall, V-shape. Okay, so let's go to the next. Okay, so here you have incremental SDLC model. Okay, so the name itself, right? It's incremental. So the same thing applies here. So 6 phases are really put in a different way altogether. Okay, here you have this. You have this verification and validation. Except that one. All this will be similar. You'll be doing verification and validation in the incremental SDLC. This has its own advantages and disadvantages. Let's go to the next one. Spiral SDLC model. So the name itself, right? Spiral means you are actually moving. Here it's divided into 4 quadrants. There's 4 quadrants. Okay. Now, again, those things remain same. Phases remain same. Requirements, design, implementation. You see this? Develop. Okay. So all this remains same. But here the way you are using it is different. First quadrant, you determine the objects. Second quadrant, you evaluate it. The third quadrant, you develop it. Fourth quadrant, you plan it. So that's how they're doing the spiral methodology. You actually go into spiral way, moving around and around. Okay, so that's how you actually doing the spiral SDLC. Okay, so these are different types of methodologies. You don't have to know everything, but SDLC is important. SDLC, because all these are derived from SDLC. Waterfall, helical, spiral, all these are derived from SDLC. If you know SDLC, this is a different representation of the same way of doing that. The same process, different representation. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Okay, agile, we'll talk about this agile hopefully in Monday. Okay, I'll go in more detail, how this agile. Agile has lot of, here you go. So this is a lot of methods in agile. So if somebody says what methodology you're working on, so you can just tell them agile. You know what, we are working in agile, but they really don't know what you're working in agile. So is it Scrum? Is it extreme programming? Is it Kanban? Okay, is it RAD, rapid application? So these are all different methods. Okay, different methods. This is sub method of this agile. Okay, so just because say that agile doesn't mean like okay, what agile, but there are a lot of things in the agile itself. Okay, so we'll be talking about Scrum, more into Scrum. We'll also go some into Kanban. Kanban, and we'll work on this one. Okay, so that's agile. So let's go to this. Okay, so this one is adaptive SDLC. You can go ahead and view that one if you're interested. Okay, so that's about SDLC. Okay, any questions so far? We'll go to the next topic, that is SDLC process. So SDLC, SDLC is more related to, okay, not really development point of view. Everyone has to know SDLC. SDLC is related more to testing perspective. Okay, you are a tester, you have to know this. Okay, so let's say what you will be doing here. Test plan preparation. Okay, we talk about this. Test case design, of course we have done this. Test execution and log preparation, yes, we have done this. Defect tracking, we have done also this test report. So this is what we'll be doing this. So let's here see pretty quick what we have done here. Test plan preparation. Okay, you'll be preparing test plan documents. Again, after preparing this, you'll be writing the test cases. Okay, that's you have done in this rally, right? Same thing actually. what is test execution and test log preparation? Okay, let's go here. This is the user story. Okay, so this is the test. This is the test case preparation. Okay, and next, let's go here. Test case design, then your test execution. So this is the plus icon. You see this, that means you have executed it. So that's a test execution. Okay, and test log preparation. Test log is like you have documented it, right? As I told you, you need to put your all your documents here. So that's called test log. Okay, that's called test log preparation. And then you have defect tracking. Of course, we have open defects. Remember, we have work on defects, and so this is bringing to track all this, which defect is going on, which is not. So that's called defect tracking. Next, you have test report preparation. We also talked about these reports. You have these reports here. We generate these reports. So we've all done all this testing as life cycle. Okay, so but this is in a not, in short, this is okay, STLT process. Okay, so let's move to the next. So we'll talk about this defect life cycle again. We have one more thing, bug life cycle. Okay, so we'll check bug life cycle pretty quick here. Okay, so here, once you open a defect, okay, so let's relate this, okay. Okay, good. So once you open a defect, okay, you need to change your status to open. Then you need to assign it to some developer, okay, some developer or some guy who is responsible there. Then once there should be one more block here actually. Once they fix it, there is a fix block. When they fix it, they will again it will come back to you. You need to test it again. If it's good, you verify it and close it. So this is one way. And the other is if it is not, if you think it's not fixed, you reopen it. Okay, again assign it to some other guy. Maybe he's not responsible. Some other guy is responsible and assign it, and that guy you need to close this. Okay, so but in the assigning stage, if the developer thinks that now we don't have time for this, we are moving to next release, then this will be deferred. Okay, this defect will be deferred. And let's say if the defect is not really valid, you say no, this is not a defect, this is a feature, then it gets rejected. Okay, so this is how this is what defect life cycle. Okay, so let's see here how. So we have actually done this. Okay, but let's pretty much check here quickly. This is actually the what we are talking about. This is actually the let's see here, the status of this defect. You see this defect state. So this is what we are talking about. Once it gets submitted, you need to put in the open status. Once it's open, developer puts in the fix. It can again run back here, and there's supposed to be one more deferred here. You don't have. So and then you can close it. So this is what we are talking about when you are saying defect life cycle. Does it make sense? Okay, so that's all about it. Any questions so far in the whole process? So this is more, related to documentation and the framework. This DLC is a framework. Okay, it's a framework to follow the process. Okay, so I'll be giving you one more homework actually. People who have done it have one more chance of working on it. So that will be in a different user story. Okay, just make sure you guys navigate this and find out this. Okay, this will be this user story, and by end of today I'll be giving you homework on this. Okay, any questions? So on Monday we'll go on agile. Okay, we'll talk about this agile. Um, okay, if no one has any questions, can we close this class for today? Okay, yeah, no, the people who didn't get videos, okay, so send me an email. Okay, you already have, right? Okay, the people who have sent, that's fine. Who have not sent, who are new, okay, they can send me so that I'll send you the videos. Okay, thank you guys.